Bonjour and welcome to all of you comic book geeks, readers and collectors, and I should add art fans, comic book art fans for this video in my line of Apex Edition deep dives. This one is the slipcase edition of Steve Dillon's 2000 AD artwork. And we're going to have a nice deep dive on it. And also, let me just get this out of the slipcase now before we start the deep dive to show you what a glory. Obviously, oh, just fell on the floor. Apologies. It's mostly because if you saw the unboxing video of this, I was surprised to see so much Judge Dredd artwork. All right. So what I've done, let me just put this down. I've got stuff such as this, which is obviously the original. You know what I'm like. I've got to do a nice little, I just like doing the comparisons. Look, this was the original 2000 AD, and that's what they've done with the artwork for the slipcase edition, and a gorgeous job Rebellion do of these. But it gives me an excuse to just go through the great artwork of Steve Dillon and dig out some old 2000 ADs and have some fun looking back, because it is mostly late 80s, early 90s. This is before Dillon would have been doing Preacher, or it may, I don't know about that actually. Now, as the words come out of my mouth, without looking behind me and going to look at Preacher stuff, I can't do that, because this is about this Apex edition. Anyway, so please, if you like the sound of that, please join me after the scroll when we'll have a nice deep dive, just looking at the artwork, flicking through. On this one, guys, normally I pour over it for ages. What I will, because it is mostly Judge Dredd, you will find me like flicking through it a little bit quicker. We can't pour over every single page, but you can pause it. You can pause and rewind to your leisure to devour Dillon's artwork. But what I will do, I've got my usual stack of 2000 ADs. We're going to compare it to how it come out in the comic, and I've also dug out while we're here. I've just dug out some other Steve Dillon 2000 AD artwork that isn't in the Apex edition, but that isn't Judge Dredd, so we can just mix it up a bit. So I look forward to seeing you after the scroll. If you fancy a little bit of that, please join me. Okay, guys, let's get going. On the 2000 AD arts, the Apex edition, Rebellion do a beautiful job of these, and I struggle to fit it into the camera. Reproducing the art more or less full size. I mean, even magnifying it. I mean, this is properly magnified, but showing how the lettering would have been done. Look at this with you can see that someone has got a felt tip pen and Tipex to do the lettering pre the digital age. Hopefully you're getting the benefit of these opening pages. Nice tipping plate, because I've got the limited edition to 400 copies. Here's all the issues. Like I say, this is very, very heavily Dredd. There was just in case you didn't see it in the intro, there was the Zenith illustration that they used on the slipcase, because obviously this is just celebrating Steve Dillon, and passed away I think about a year ago, year and a half ago. And what we'll do is we'll just have some fun celebrating his artwork and looking at how it ended up. This is the full size. That's how it ended up. Beautiful cover by McMahon. We'll have a little celebration of 2000 AD. Why not? Along the way. That's how I read it back in 1980, 44 years ago. And Steve Dillon came out of the bat, more or, as the saying goes, more or less fully formed. His artwork, he was drawing for Marvel UK, and this must have been one of his very, very first. I thought it was Mean Arena for 2000 AD. I think this might predate it. I could be wrong on that. But his style, what I liked about his style is it was classic in its simplicity, which meant that he could produce art quick. You look at people like Brian Bolland or Mick McMahon, and their artwork took ages and ages. Somehow this guy could produce artwork at this standard. And he's heavy. He's heavy on the blacks early on, but it gets, he develops his style. The good old story about Fergie. If you don't know Judge Dredd, really, you're going to be a little bit lost for this one. And yeah, you can see he lightens. You bear in mind what you're seeing here with these dark inks, these dark blacks and that. And yeah, you'll see how his style really does develop, but not in a way, not like McMahon, more like Bolland, where his style it develops, but it doesn't change. Now this one, Prog 242. This is the prog it appeared in. Nice. I mean, I don't know if that is a Bolland cover. No, it's not Bolland. It was what's his face that was always doing a good impression. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're not here for that. Here we go. This is how that artwork would have appeared in colour, centre page, Block Mania. It was a great story. One of the best ones. Just to, and the lettering again, look, with Tipp-Ex and people having to use pens. Look, there's something there. There's obviously a blemish in the artwork or in the paper or something there that needs to. I love it. Love it. I don't know how that would have not been coloured in. I don't know why that's red there and black there. Anyway, it would be lost in the mists of time now. So we're going back. I mean, what was the date on that comic? And this is the Russian, the Sov block. This is 1981. This is the Sov block agent that is trying to poison the water for Mega C. Got old Max Normal there, look. But he could do, and this was a moment. They put this on the cover, and Judge Giant, basically Judge Dredd in the very, very early issues. I've only recently dug this out and put it on Threads actually, of when he takes rookie Giant out on his trial to become a judge after you spend about 15 years being a rookie in the Judge Academy, and this was sad. It was only 3 or 4 years later they're killing off a character like that. But it lent the story some weight. It really did. So it's just, again, a nice cover. Where you can see how it translates. You see all the cut marks around here. How it didn't come out of the printer, but obviously over time, all the glues that they use to stick this stuff onto the artwork, all the glue goes funny over. But I love it. Look how this is cut and pasted. Love it. I love these Apex editions for that kind of detail, and you can see it here as well. I mean, I don't know. It might be how these particular pages of art have been stored, because I didn't notice it was quite so bad with the glue coming through on the, just classic pose for Dredd. And he was a classic artist. again, he's going. I don't know why he's going a bit heavy on the inks here. This is one of the more. This is one of the more classic. You know what he's remembered for. The werewolf stuff. We're not quite there. I don't think we're quite there yet. There's the cover. It's reproducing, but we're not quite there yet. I don't think anyway. There's the centre spread as it appeared. Yeah, I don't think we're up to the cry of the werewolf yet. This is the one though. Prog 322. There's the cover. And very, very, what was the werewolf film? The American Werewolf in London. I think he was inspired by it, to be fair. Obviously, I'm not saying he copied it, but I think there's just something about his design of the werewolf, and it is glorious. I think, anyway, in my humble opinion. And like I say, just a very traditional art style by Steve. And there isn't anything wrong with that. I'm not saying there is. That was the next Prog 323. That's how it would have appeared in colour. Here we go. Nice job. Sometimes it is just better in black and white, in my opinion. But like I say, a lot of what do you make of it, werewolf? Yeah, and I'm Bugs Bunny. Like, I don't know why they would use 20th century. Anyway, all good stuff. Look at that, epic. That's great stuff. You know, pure Dredd. He's never losing sight of what's gonna. Pure Dredd. Look, and again, this stuff that's cut and pasted. All the glue going yellow over the years. His artwork, look, that's nice. That's a nice panel, actually. You can literally see, this is how good these Apex editions are, you can literally see the black ink that's been brushed through. You see the brush strokes, literally. Looks like the gang's all here. Well, like I say, I'm kind of nice because Steve wasn't the most proficient on tech. You know, you look at stuff like, say, by Bolland or Kevin O'Neill, where they got the tech like right. I mean, even the gun, very, very basic, but nothing wrong with that. He had an organic style that was more suited towards the werewolves than it was to the tech. Nevertheless, all well accomplished. Like, I'm not slating the guy. I'm just giving you the pros and cons to the man's art style. And like I say, it's all they could have really called it an Apex edition of Dredd. Really, nice trading card. Obviously, I've never seen that before. There's one of the covers that Steve did, and another cover there. So you're kind of getting the full kind of. I think that one's next, actually. Yeah, 328. So that's the cover to this story. And then it should be in the middle. Yeah, there we go. Nice colouring job. Other judges getting involved. haven't got this best. But obviously, where I was getting 2000 AD, I had no need to get best 2000 AD monthly because I already got it. So, yeah. But that's a real departure. And I've noticed as well, at the time, around the same time, the designer Dredd's helmet, this was very Brendan McCarthy. And I noticed that he does start using that in later issues. This was a really impactful centre spread for me. This one, I think. There we go. That is it reproduced in colour. You can see all that. Get the panels. Maybe the colouring was a little bit off. I think that would have been better off if his face was lit from there, from the laser, you know, the las gun, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, a minor that I've just noticed, a minor infringement. Obviously, done the cover as well. Just quickly, in this issue, you have, what an issue. You've got Mike McMahon on Slain, and I've done the video on that. You've got Alan Moore and Alan Davis on DR and Quench. What a comic this was. What an issue of the Galaxy's greatest comic. You've got Dillon on Dredd. You've got Cam Kennedy on Road Trooper. What a mixture of the best characters. And then, to top it all off, you've got Carlos Esquire on Strontium Dog. Oh, what an issue. What an issue of such a brilliant comic. But we're here for Steve. This didn't end well for the perp. Bit of a tenuous ending to that story, I must say. It's got nothing to do with his artwork, has it? That's a great cover there. That's a great cover, and again you can see all the Tipex here that I don't know what would have been going on. Sorry, I was just trying to work out what that was there on my cover. But anyway, that doesn't matter. That was how it was reproduced, full size, to the comic. This is nice stuff. And like I was saying at the beginning, when he gets a lighter touch, his work is better for me. It's my pure personal opinion. And he does get a lighter touch as the years progress, because this is quite condensed. I'm not saying you know an artist shouldn't use black ink, because he is a black and white comic. And here we go. This is where I noticed, and this is obviously Steve Dillon, but a very Brendan McCarthy style of work there. Whether he's just experimenting a little bit, can't say. If this wasn't in this book and someone showed me this illustration, I would have never said that was Steve Dillon. And normally, I'm pretty good on spotting the artists I enjoy. So we've got this. This is how it would have appeared. Slick Diggins, great title. Obviously, that bit it's been missing. Has just completely peeled off. So, like I say, I'm kind of running through it all because it does get a bit, you know, for you, I'm thinking of the all, it does get a bit samey, but again, these glorious Apex editions, when you appreciate your artwork, and you can just see how much black ink he's using. They shoot DJs, don't they? That's a nice centre spread, I've got to say. And in the meanwhile, there's just another cover that Steve would have done. In the meanwhile, Prog 5. This is Prog 554. So in the meanwhile, look, in the 500s, Steve would have done. I'm not happy about that. Look, that folded cover, or folded issue, should I say? Look, I haven't stored that properly, have I? Never mind. It's only 37 years old. Weird to see, he would have been a good Strontium Dog artist. Obviously, it's Durham Red, but would have been a good Stront artist, I think. Then again, I think he could have drawn anything. the guy. I think he could have, you know, obviously put his hand to anything. So this is the issue that this turns up in. There we go. Reproduced on this slick paper. Nice. Look, there's not a lot of difference there, is there, in colour? You can tell that this slick, this nicer paper now, by the, you know, we're getting into 84, is it? Oh no, 87. You can tell, look, how well, how technology's coming on. Look, that's near what was, you know, what was put down on paper. So fair play. Judge Dredd cover. Emerald Isle. I wonder if Garth Ennis wrote that story. I might find out in a minute. Nice to see that. Obviously, Steve's colouring it himself as well. Not sure if it's completely working. If I'm honest, I'm not sure if that completely works. But that looks like watercolour. Yeah. Oh no, it looks a bit. To be fair, looks a bit better there. Yeah, it's nice stuff. He's obviously in the Emerald Isle with the Irish judges, and yeah, budda. Who doesn't like a bit of that? It's nice to see it reproduced in colour as well. But you can see how his style, how he was so prolific. You know, he just never missed a beat. You know, like when he went on to Preacher. You know, he was never, it's not like these artists now that they do 4 issues and then they have to have 4 issues off. You know, this guy, he was on Preacher, he was on it. He was on Hellblazer, he was on it. Month after month after month after month. And the same with Dredd. Week after week after week after week, the guy did the work. He put the work in. His style got looser, and I've got to admit, it was already of a very, in my opinion, very traditional style, but I did like it. Always enjoyed it because it was so simple and easy on the eye. There really isn't. I don't mean simple in a derogatory way. It just easily translated the story, whatever he was doing. An early prog there, prog 189. This would have been Road Jaws Robo Tales. Here we go. So we're going back to 1980 now. Whereabouts is it in here? Look, we've got a squarer on Stront. You've got, oh, here it is. That's how it would have appeared. With the heavy inks, it looks a lot like Gary Leach's artwork. If you know that name, he worked on Miracle Man in the first issues of Warrior. But yeah, early issue of 2000 AD. Mean Arena is where I know is what I associate with Steve Dillon's artwork the most. And I think that was his first. This was his first gig. Oh look what was in this comic as well. Wow, but I've done Bolland, so oh, more a scarer. More Kevin O'Neill. What a comic book this was, guys. Oh, but he wasn't on Mean Arena. Oh, that was a waste of time. Very Bradbury. But I think this was the second go round of Mean Arena, I think. I could be wrong. Here we go, we've got some nice character sketches. John Higgins obviously doing maybe the inking, but definitely the colouring. You can tell it's definitely the colouring. Yeah, I think this would have been, this is lovely stuff. Out of the 1985 annual. Beautiful. Yeah, definitely John Higgins on the colouring. It's absolutely superb colourist. Beautiful stuff, that. Makes a change to see Dillon's artwork not on Dredd, Rebellion. Nevertheless, a great showcase of a great artist. Here we go, little bit of Road Troop. That was on the cover. That's how it would have appeared in 1988. So we're getting right on with it now. You know, he's probably 8 years into his career now. You know, he's not the newbie anymore. And again, the colouring and the, you know, looks like he would have coloured that himself. And he's obviously, look, he's used the white paint to sign his name. So nice job. 1991 annual story. Definitely a lot more looser style there, but none, you know, impactful nevertheless. And now we're kind of reaching the end. Here's another comic cover. And kind of reaching the end to where I kind of drifted off of 2000 AD a bit. In the early 90s, it wasn't under very good stewardship. As far as I'm concerned, it wasn't under very good stewardship in this era. One of his characters, one of Steve's other characters, a short little biography there about going on to do. But look, some of the other covers he did, Tyranny Rex, would have been nice to have seen some of the artwork from that reproduced, but the guy could just, you know, he's on Dredd, there's Hammerstein, there's, I was going to say Torquemada there, I forget his name now, it's another video, something else I forget. But look, these are just all nice Dillon covers. There isn't anything he couldn't lend his hand to. Like I say, he wasn't big on the tech. You know, imagine if Kevin O'Neill had done that gun. there would be some, or the Lawgiver, that he wasn't so fussed about that. He wasn't so fussed, but that's why maybe he was so, you know, he was quite prolific and he was quick. I like his painted artwork as well. You can still tell that's Steve Dillon actually. So what's all this? This is all 1990 actually, most of this, yeah. There's another, and there is another one there, Harlem Heroes. I don't know if he was on the story inside. Yeah, he was. Inked by Kev Walker. That's quite interesting. Who's doing work for Marvel now. But that weren't bad. No, it wasn't the best combination, now I'm looking at it. But yeah, I can see why I could have been drifting off. I think Kev may have been overcomplicating his artwork by the looks of that, I've got to admit. Nice comment, new artwork on Strontium Dog. But there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that quick. Obviously, it's quick because I didn't want to linger on multiple pages, the same stories of Dredd, you know, 6-8 pages. I do hope you enjoyed that. And please join me. I don't know what's going to be up next. I've got an Apex edition. I've got a Batman, the Year One by Mazzucchelli. So please join me next time. And I hope you've enjoyed this. And until you join me next time, I will bid you all adios.